interest.
Yeah.
So it becomes something very, very key for us.
Yeah.
So then it means you'd want to see a more attractive local
Yes,
league. You want to
of
see
course.
more, yeah.
I mean, if you look at some of the pitches, even the national pitches that we play football on, I'm not sure they are even going to qualify for a training pitch for Barcelona or for Chelsea or for any of these big teams. And the Black Stars in particular, we invest so much in them. I mean, football is at the heart and center of this nation. It is one of the few things that unites us as a nation. You see that Ghana scores or wins, and then someone from NDC and MPP, they will embrace.
Yeah.
I mean, they put their differences aside.
They forget the party colors.
Exactly. Yes. And our names have gone out to the world because of football. When we qualified in 2006 for the World Cup for the first time ever, reaching the round of 16 and all that, that's when people got to know a country called Ghana. So football has done a lot for us as a country. So we need to at least give back to football what football has given us, and we appear not to be doing that. And I mean, the generations that are coming up, I'm not sure that in the next few years somebody will even say that I love Asante Kotoko or Accra Hearts of Oak. These are the two biggest clubs in the country that you have somebody either liking this or the other. But I'm not sure that in the next few years we're even going to get people to like them.
Well, this is an opinion that's coming from one of you out there here in Ghana and around the world for that matter, and that is what also situates the conversation this afternoon. Kenneth, thank you so much.
Thank
Kenneth
you,
Jesse of Joy News, bringing us the midday news here on Joy 99.7 FM. My name is Nathaniel Attoh, and as always, I'm glad to welcome you to today's show. It's in two parts, and we're going to bring you a conversation that has been much talked about, a conversation with a Ghana legend, Michael Essien. Recently, Joy Sports Tahiru Fentor took a trip to the heart of Denmark, where he had a conversation with Michael Essien. Now, Michael Essien is one who is not the regular vocal person that you'd hear all the time, making the news because of what he said, but mostly because of his exploits. And he is another example of what we want to see our sportsmen and women do post their respective active careers. So we're getting into his space through the lens of Tahiru Fentor, and we're going to take a look at how things have been, since he started, that journey in life after football and in life after active play, featuring in Ghana's very first FIFA World Cup appearance, going to the Africa Cup of Nations, having his fair share of injuries which took him away from national duty at certain points, and also winning major silverware. I do remember that all of you were very engrossed in the conversation yesterday on First Take when we had, that conversation about who has made most impact in terms of Ghanaian players who have played in Europe. There was a lot of the conversation centered around him. Of course, during his era, he clearly is one that stands out. But of course, there have been pioneers, the likes of Abedi Pele, Tony Yeboah, who have also made massive impact. I mean, you talk about an Abedi Pele, and the kind of impact he's made in the background and in the big boardrooms around the world, in the corridors of politics and all of that, obviously laying that foundation for the likes of Michael Essien. We're going to throw the focus on him for the first hour of the show. And then after that, I'm going to have a conversation with two Ghanaian journalists in the diaspora who have been observing all the happenings here in the system from a distance. And they're going to be bringing their perspective to the conversation about how, what kinds of conversations go on about Ghana sports out there, and, what they also think and what they also feel we should do. Remember that, yes, last week here on the show, we started with solutions, bringing practical solutions to some of the problems we have, especially that one about pitch maintenance and general facility maintenance and all of that. We're carrying the conversation forward, bringing you this one-on-one with the legend. And then after that, we take a look at how our friends in the diaspora are viewing all of these and what their positions are on some of the things that have come up, especially in the past 2 weeks. This is the Joy Sports Link here on Joy 99.7 FM. My name is Nathaniel Attoh. In a bit, we'll be getting to that conversation between Tahiru Fentor and Michael Essien, the legend, who, had the highest point of his club career for Chelsea, where he won the UEFA Champions League, won the FA Cup, and also won the English Premier League title. Had major moments in Europe, played for Real Madrid, played in Italy as well, and has had a very successful career when it comes to club and country in generally, because he was part of a generation that made history. And of course, because of that, his name will go down in the history books. Before we get to that conversation, however, let me say a very big good afternoon to all of you joining us via this platform and via a live stream on YouTube all over the world. Today becomes a very special day because, my daughter Raina Jane Attoh is celebrating her birthday today. So I'm dedicating the show to her because, you see, they are the reason our kids and others are the reasons why we stand strong and we do these kinds of things all these years. So special dedication to my daughter. And of course, once again, to Joy Sports Muftau Nabila Abdullahi. I'm just praying that award at the GJA 75th anniversary for Sports Journalist of the Year comes home here to Joy Sports. You have to watch this space. Before we get down to the conversations here on the Joy Sports link, these messages here on the show. And of course, do remember that you can join us with your messages. It's 055 1111 997. 055 1111 997 here on Joy 99.7 FM. Of course, if you're outside the region and you're into the you surely are interested in the conversation, then you prefix with +233. So that becomes +233 55 1111 997. My name is Nathaniel Attoh, ably backed by the rest of the Joy Sports team with lead production from Mubarak Haruna. Some messages, and after that, we get straight to the conversations here on the show. Your messages are very welcome.
He's playing this. He was
is back.
It's back?
Oh yeah, it's back. So you better get yourselves ready for this big corporate sporting spectacle on Saturday, October 26, 2024.
You girls are going down. I'm telling you, my male colleagues are strong. We are winning hands down.
Okay. All right, you know what to do. Just get yourselves ready and start training now, because the big day is coming. Big bragging rights are waiting to be taken over. It's the Joy Sports Invitational Tournament, reintroduced, rehushed, and coming back with big explosion and big energy. To register your corporate institution, call 0540-106-466. Here in Accra, the Joy Sports Invitational Tournament coming to you on Saturday, October 26, 2024 at the University of Ghana Stadium from 9 a.m. sharp. Oh yes, the Joy Sports Invitational Tournament is back.
Manchester City are the Premier League champions again.
When it's football you want, get it all on DSTV. All the leagues, all the cups, all the matches live. Because when it comes to football, we've got it all day, all night. No matter what package you're on, you're always going to get football on DSTV, your home of entertainment.
Thank you very much for staying with us here on Joy 99.7 FM. My name is Nathaniel Attoh. We're glad to have you on board with today's edition of the Joy Sports Link right here, which is also streaming live on our YouTube channel. Thank you all so much for making this custom every other Saturday to be with us here on the show. As I've mentioned already, Joy Sports Fento Tahiru Fento had a very relaxing conversation with Ghana legend Michael Essien. We'll bring you that conversation, and after that would go over to the United States of America, where some two Ghanaian journalists will be addressing some of the issues that have come up in the sports sector, especially during this period as we build up to the December 7 elections, and where they stand on these issues and their perspective, the kinds of conversations that go on amongst Ghanaians in the diaspora about key areas of our sports development. All of those here on the Joy Sports Link on Joy 99.7 FM.
Kwabena Nkweku, combative midfielder, nicknamed the Bison, the Bull, or pretty much any other adjective you choose to describe him and his style of play. Surely, he's one of Ghana's biggest exports when it comes to football. Or by the sheer size of the clubs that he played for, certainly, undisputably, he is Ghana's greatest export abroad. Playing for the likes of Chelsea, AC Milan, Real Madrid, he's achieved enormous success when it comes to club football. And at the national team level, he's been representing Ghana ever since he started kicking football, playing for the under-17s, the under-20s, all the way to the Black Stars, where he became an integral member of a team that made history in 2006 when they qualified for their first ever FIFA World Cup. With over 400 appearances for various clubs, he's finally called time on his international career and his club career. And for the last 4 years, he spent time here at FC Nordsjælland, where he's helping nurture the next generation of football players. We've flown over 7,000 kilometers to the middle of Denmark, Farum, to be specific, to speak to him and find out what he's been up to and what the future holds for him. My guest today on this Joy Sports special is the one and only Michael Kojo Essien. He's somewhere in the middle there, conducting training. And right after that, we will have a chat. Michael, thank you so much.
Thank you.
How did you like that intro?
Yeah, it was good. It was very good.
You know,
But no Kojo though. Kojo is not my name.
Kweku is,
Kwabena.
I beg your pardon, Kwabena Nkweku.
No, I'm Kwabena.
Well, why did anybody call you Kweku?
I don't know
Essien?
why. Because
But you've heard it before.
Yeah. Back then they had Kotoko used to have this player called
Kweku Essien.
So they,
And then I think
Ghanaians are-
people got it confused.
Yeah.
Interesting. You know, the moment I got in here, when we did the walk, it was a 25 minutes walk into this park. The whole walk, I could understand why you love it in this place. It's quiet, it's secluded. I'm like, this is typical Michael. He never does this. He likes his quiet life. And I was right.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, because I mean, if you know me, you know me. I like my quiet life, and you know, I like to be far from the city. You know,
Yeah.
of course, I grew up in a very small town in Ghana. So yeah, I've always been the country boy. So I like my quiet, and I like my nature and stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah. And how is Rasta?
Rasta is good. He's doing well.
But by the way, that's the name of Michael's dog, Rasta. He calls him Rasta all the
Yeah.
time. And I have to tell you, Michael, look, this is not just because you're here. I think I've told you before that you're a big inspiration for me in many ways. Not just because I'm a Chelsea fan, but always even in my hair. I mean, this is all inspiration from you. But you know, just sitting across you right now for this interview in itself is a great pleasure. You have no idea how much I've wanted to do this, and I'm so happy and so grateful that you agreed to do this. So thank you so much for agreeing to do
Thanks
this.
for coming as well.
Just tell me what it's been like the last 4 years, and for those who don't even understand exactly what you do. Your role is individual player coach. What is that about specifically?
No, I mean basically is doing taking one-on-one session with some of the players, especially the midfielders and stuff like that. So yeah, that's what I've been doing, and also trying to mentor them a little bit and give them a little advice that I can as an ex-pro. So yeah. And
the kids love you. I've seen a video. The most common word that a lot of them used to describe you is humble, respectful, and very kind. I mean, what would you say is why you have such an impact on all these children?
I mean, well, it's kids that wanna take their football into a different level, and of course they need some little guidance, and and also see me around, and they will react with them, they will talk to them. So I mean, it gives them something to to learn. So yeah, it's been good so far. So.
And you know, I'm one person. I follow you a lot, even on Instagram. Sometimes I see you doing Instagram video. You're just working out, and you're like, and you're not saying anything in the Instagram video. You're just working out, and you're sweating all over the place. And you still look really fit. Now I understand why you work out as much as you do.
No, but actually, those Instagram live thing I was doing, it was. I took up this challenge for this charity thing, so I have to, you know, I took up the challenge to do 45 minutes spinning every day to raise awareness and
nice.
some money for this charity called Fund.
Okay.
Basically, it was from it's founded here in Denmark, and they do a lot of stuff in Africa, Sierra Leone and Ghana and Gambia and stuff like that. So yeah, that's why I took up that challenge to, you know.
I get it now.
To do it,
It's an important one. Right to Dream has a lot of very talented players over the last few years, and we'll get to all of that. But tell me about what the journey is to this point, because I think I remember getting to this a certain point of your career. Were you always sure that you wanted to do this? At what point did you start to take steps towards doing this?
Well, actually, when I remember when I was playing, if you ask me if I wanna be a coach or get into into coaching, I would say no. But then, you know, as time passed and you know, I start thinking. I mean, I've been doing this football thing for almost my whole life, so why not take up, you know, a coaching license and, you know, still stay in football, you know, be around the players, especially the young ones, you know. Guide them a little bit, you know, give them a few advice, few feedbacks, you know, and stuff like that. And yeah, I still love the game, and so yeah, that's what made me start my coaching license. Actually, I started before I end my career. So then.
And you started with the very lowest one, license C, yeah?
Yeah, I did. I was in Wales. I did my license there. So I did the C, the B, together.
Yeah.
And then a year or two later, I started doing the A. So I started doing my A license before I came here. So I finished here. Yeah.
And then you graduated last year. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
I saw you holding up the certificate.
Yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy because people think, you know, you've been an ex-player, it's easy to go to coaching, but it's not at all. But then I took up this decision to do it because I didn't want to end up being one of these ex-players. They finish their career, they go home, and then now they start thinking what they're gonna do. Then they get into depression and stuff like that. So and I started doing it so I can keep my routine kind of the same as when I was playing. So yeah.
I mean, that's actually a brilliant response because you mentioned this whole issue of transitioning, and sometimes you finish before trying to figure out what you want to do, and you might not figure it out in time, and it can get a little bit, it can get very difficult. I spoke to a few ex-players. I think a few weeks ago we had a session where we were talking about like transitioning and life after football. And I think it was Tony Buffo who said that for a lot of the players, the reality doesn't, like they struggle to accept the reality that, you know, you're out of the game, and when the routine is not the same, it can get a bit difficult.
It can get a bit, well, not a bit, but it can get very frustrating. And as I said, they can get some players into depression and stuff like that because, you know, they can't accept that the game is finished. But I mean, if you prepare yourself, then it's okay. Then you are good to go. And I'm still exploring other courses around football as well, and that's what I spend my free time doing. So I go home and I do some
like
few courses online.
Squad scouting.
Yeah, I'm actually doing this course CFM. Which is a certificate of football management.
Oh, nice.
With this UEFA guy, so that's another course I'm doing. I'm you know, spending my extra time and, you know, doing is involved in football except coaching. So I'm done with my coaching license, so I'm just exploring other stuff within football organization. Yeah.
That's amazing. And you know, I was reading this thing about like giving professional players. You could have gone straight to do the A, the UEFA A, as an ex-player, but you decided to do C, B, all the way to A. Why did you have to put yourself through that when you could have just skipped some of them?
I mean, you can. You know, there's no. I think there's no short corner to anything. So I'd rather start from the scratch. You know, I spent my whole time being a footballer, and I just do what I'm told to do, and I just add my skills to my determination into it. So, and coaching is very different than playing. Actually, there's a lot more that goes on into coaching. So I decided to start from the scratch, how it's done, and then gradually move myself up there, and eventually I managed to finish the A, which was very, trust me, it was very difficult.
Every time you go there, you say, like, what is it about? Like, what is the curriculum like? Is it true that they make you write like some theses?
You have to. I mean, you have to.
Wow.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, of course, you have to. You do your section, you plan your session. You have to. I mean, write into duties what you want to, you know, to see in the session. What is the session about? And so you have to write everything down. So it's not. If you are not sharp, a little bit sharp, then you find yourself in trouble. But yeah, you have to write the sessions down. And,
I'm glad you passed it, because I read somewhere like some of the coaches that you played under, they say this coach did his whole coaching thesis on like defending, and this one did it on counter press and stuff like that. I'm like, I mean, how do you even write a whole paper on that? But that's really interesting. But so is that something that you mentioned, the fact that you're taking other courses around football, but there is another level above the A, which is the
yes,
P.
there's
is that something you're thinking about?
There's the pro. The pro is the last one, but actually the pro is more about leadership. I think more is not much to do in like planning sessions. So maybe for now no, but maybe at some point I will just do it, and you know, for the experience and see. So let's see, but for now I don't want to. I'm not thinking about being a head coach. You know, it's too stressful.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. You enjoy doing what you're doing now more than being the
more than being the main man, and with all this media and camera in your face, it's definitely not me. So.
I mean,
but you never know. Maybe at some point. But
for now, I love it. I think if that point comes, I think you would have been ready. I think when that point comes, you'll be ready, because I mean, you've started from the very bottom, the very beginning, and building yourself up. I mean, I don't think a lot of coaches, you know, have that patience, especially ex-players, right? You know, you just go straight to the top. Some of them actually finish and straight they get a big team, and the coaching don't have the opportunity to do what you're doing. I saw even after training, you were in the stands looking for footballs and stuff like that. I mean, that kind of attitude is very humbling for me to see. But also, it must have a certain impact on the players, because if they see that Michael Essien is the one looking for footballs in the stands, what about you?
What about me?
No, what about the kids? Like,
okay. I mean,
that you're doing, it must have a certain impact on them in terms of like respect and character building and all those things.
Yeah, it's true. But I also learned that when I came, actually, you know, I'm an observer. I observe a lot, and. You know, I take my actions depend on that. So when I came, it was our head coach Fleming Pedersen, and then we have Didi Dramani here.
Of course.
And they were doing it.
Oh wow.
Yeah, after the session, they'll go around, you know, collect all the balls and make sure we have, you know, if we came out with 50 balls, we make sure we have 50 balls. So looking at them doing it, of course, I have to do it. So and then me doing it, you know, also. You know, make an impact on the boys, and they go out and do it. Or sometimes I have to just shout, and then we all go look for the balls together. So,
I mean, that's amazing. I mean, and the reason I asked that question is I'm looking at the kind of role models that these kids have in someone like you, and I'm looking at what they're getting by you being here, and compared to, let's say, when you were starting out. What would you say are the differences right now in terms of how talent comes through and then how talent came through during your time?
I mean, I would say our time we have to learn the hard way.
Yeah.
we have to learn the hard way.
Not easy.
Now things have changed, and different generations. But the talent is still the same. It's football. You just have to to make an impact for them to take something from you and develop their football.
Yeah.
As I said, we have to learn the hard way, and you know how it is. Sometimes you get beaten by, or you get hit by a senior player. But it's not like they hate you or something. It's just for you to take an action, and for you to react. So, by this generation, you just need to talk to them. You can't just hit someone's kid. It's not allowed. Of course, we deal with a lot of young athletes. So you have to be, be a role model and at the same time like a big brother to them. So you talk to them, nicely. Then they take.
Is that like a society thing that times have changed a little bit? Because I think was it Jose has spoken about that. He says when he was coaching people, like it was much easier, like it could come into your face. But like you just mentioned, now you can't do that with the kids anymore. I mean, I don't know why is that? Because it's professional sport. It has to be a very competitive environment.
I mean, as I said, his generation. This is their generation, so we have to adapt to their generation.
Yeah.
Where back in the days when you said Jose will come to your face. I mean, I remember Jose. Even first half, we will not talk about tactics. He'll have a go at each player, but then we go out. We have to take initiative and react and make sure we change the game. But now it's not the same. It's different. So we are working on it, and also of course you need to find the right words to use on the players. So yeah.
Some people like to say that these days the players are soft. I think people say that. People say that, even in the media. I mean, obviously you would not say that because you're dealing with them, so you know them better. But like on the outside, like when even it's not just like even in the Black Stars or whatever. You criticize a player, they coming and they're reacting and getting back into their shell, and people are like, hey, players are soft. But you make a very good point that we have to understand that times have changed.
Yeah.
And the players, the generations, the characters are different. But also, it's not just the attitudes that have changed. The tactics have also changed. It looks like everybody wants to play differently now. I mean, what are the main differences between like the time you were playing and now in terms of even tactical evolution?
I mean, I think so much have changed in the football world now, and every day there's new trend going on in football. Back in the days, if there's a goalkeeper, the players are now allowed in the box. So then you have to go long, establish your player somewhere. Now you see defenders in the box or close to the goalkeeper. Everyone exactly. Everyone want to play from the back and play nice football with an attacking mindset. That's what we do here. So those things is changing, and now the goalkeepers are more involved in the game now than back in the days. Yeah. Back in the days, you make a pass to a goalkeeper, your coach will be screaming at it. And then the goalkeeper will just kick the ball in. But now you need to find out the goalkeeper is more involved. It's like the extra man you have on the pitch. So it's changed a lot, but it's more beautiful when you see a good team playing. So.
Which system do you think would have maybe fit up perfectly into your game? The now tiki-taka kind of system, or what you came up with?
I want to win.
You just want to win.
I want to win. But also,
of course, with
an attacking mindset. So yeah. So.
And in terms of even like the physical demands of the game, that has changed a little bit as well. Is that something that you've noticed? That there's less emphasis on strength and more emphasis on maybe tactical or technical ability? Because someone has said that even it looks like the era of like the most skillful players, it's going away. No number 10s. Maybe everybody's now like an 8 hybrid. I don't know. Can you just go into those details for me? Like, what is happening even with the midfield evolution, because the typical
I mean-
DMs like destroyers, of your life, even those ones are going extinct.
It's true actually, but that's what I'm saying. Football is changing, and now you don't really have the, as you said, the number 10 position. The number 10 position is disappeared. So it's 2-8 and a 6, and those 2-8 can become the 10.
Yeah.
So it depends how you want to play, and also sometimes you move your fullbacks high, wingers in to create some overload to have more players in the pocket. So. Yeah.
I mean, it's very difficult. It's very difficult when I look at the situation now, especially with the DM, because when I look at even players like Rodri, he plays like a DM, but he's not really. He doesn't really have maybe the same. He doesn't use strength as much. Doesn't go slide into tackles as much. And it's like, and the world, everybody says that's the best DM in the world. I'm like, that's not what I grew up watching. When it comes to DM,
Of course, our time is different. Our time, how football is. It was quite physical, quite physical. So fans like to players going in tackles and all of that. But you talk about Rodri. We play for Man City. You have the ball all the time, so do you really need to tackle now?
FCN has a very good history of very successful African players that have come here in the past. Salman Adingra, Kudus, Kamaldeen. What do you make of the current generation of African players that are here right now, the talent level in terms of where they can potentially go?
Well, I would start by saying that it's an amazing, great thing that Right to Dream giving these boys and also the girls the opportunity to develop their football and also academically to develop their education. And of course, as you mentioned, we've had some quite the good ones that have come through from Right to Dream to FCN, and they've moved on to other places in their career now. So some have become African champion, like Simon. I remember Simon when his first training with the first team, he broke his arm, and it was.
When he came here, you were here already.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was here when he came, and his first training, he broke his arm. Yeah.
Oh my God.
And he was very, very sad, but every morning I go to him and say, "It's okay, don't worry. It's just a broken arm. It's nothing too much to worry about." And then he kept, listening to me. He kept, and then once he was recovered, and the rest was history. So of course I had Kamaldeen, I had Diomande and them lot. So yeah, it's good. And now we have a few of the Right to Dream boys that have made it through to FCN. So yeah, the talent is there. So hopefully they can look up to the ones who have made it. Moved on to their.
You didn't come to Kudus, right?
Sorry. No, when I came, Kudus was gone. Yeah, Kudus was gone.
Kamaldeen, I spoke to Tom once and I asked him who the most talented RTD graduate is. He mentioned, I think, someone else, but then he says Kamaldeen has the talent of Vinicius Junior. He just needs to stay fit. You've worked with him, you've played the game, so you can see a quality player when you see it. Do those thoughts align with yours? You think he's really like that talented?
No, I agree with Tom. Kudus, Kamal was exceptional when I was here. Wow. He can win a game on his own. He could do everything. He's got the speed, the technique, the dribbling skills and everything. And he's strong. You see him, you wouldn't think he's that strong.
Power.
So he's got everything, but as I said, if he can stay fit, but those things is hard to control those things. But keeping my fingers crossed, he can stay fit, and then they can the world can really see Kamaldeen, because he's got everything to be at the top. So
and Diomande, you are his favorite player.
And I love that boy. He was such
I don't know what you did for him, but you are his favorite. He doesn't stop talking about it.
That's good. We had a really we born really good when I came here, and of course he will come to my place. He will prepare their check and everything. So we became very close, and you know, of course, I see him every day. So we'll be talking when he's away. We'll be texting. So yeah, we became very close, and
Yeah.
I'm happy for him to move to Rangers. And you know, I was watching their game yesterday, but unfortunately they lost.
They lost. Yeah,
They lost,
Rangers
but
now.
I mean, they lost their good team. So it's okay.
Yeah. You know, I don't know if he, I'm sure maybe he must have told you, given how close you were. Ghana called him up. When then Cote d'Ivoire took him and called him up, and he ditched us. I'm like, didn't you talk to Michael?
I have something to say, but I don't know if I have to say. I will say off camera.
You can say it off camera.
I will say it off camera.
that's
But
totally-
I mean, I don't blame
That's
him.
totally fine. Now we lost it. He's a quality player. I would have liked for us to have, but obviously we
he's a
don't
top
control
player.
that.
He's a top player, and
Yeah.
he's a very dynamic. He's a player that understands the game and
Yeah.
understands the tactics, and he's
Awesome.
very agile and everything is there with intensity and tempo into it. Yeah. So
Amazing.
Yeah.
Kid. And as for Simon, I was making a joke the other day. I was like, so Right to Dream in Ghana like produce all these players, and it's an Ivorian who's gone on to win the AFCON first before us. But he's a very special talent as well, the Simon Attoh kid.
well, I call him Simon. He will not be happy if he says
You call him
Simon.
Simon, huh? I'm sorry.
It's Simon. Yeah, I mean, he's a quality player. I mean,
Yeah.
he's a good kid as well, but a quality top player.
Wow.
He's so smart, and one of the things he does best is how he is. You know, we do the blind pressure. He will steal the ball off the defenders all the time, and his first touch is always quality.
Wow.
Always quality. And when he's coming at you in tempo, you don't know where he's going. So he's a very smart and very clever player. And yeah, I wish him all the best.
Yeah. Is there, are there any, having dealt with this, in fact, you in particular, Michael, I don't know what it is, but during your playing time, you played with so many Ivorians. And now, even at FCN, you're dealing with so many Ivorians. What is it? What's that? How is that? You somehow you can't escape them.
I don't know. I think I'm just lucky. And also, of course, I'm from second year. I'm a third year.
Closer.
So I'm close to Africa. So probably that's why. But I mean, also I think it's also I was lucky. I mean, I was at Chelsea with a few Ivorians, Drogba, Carlos, and them lot, and also coming here with all these young Ivorians. And I could speak the French, so I think it makes more easier for us to connect. So.
Are there any differences in attitudes, like Ivorian players, Ghanaian players, from your experience, even from the playing days, even for now dealing with them? Are there any differences between the Ghanaian player and the Ivorian player?
I mean, it's more or less the same. It's more or less the same. It depends on the individual how much you want it, and how much you want to, work hard and take your football into a different levels. Yeah.
When you look at the FCN project, you've been to Chelsea, Real Madrid, Lyon, AC Milan, big clubs. What makes this place so special? Because every time, right now, especially like the last 6 years, they've produced some of the best talents.
I mean, this place is special. I know when you came, they treat you nice,
It took me around, that's true. So you don't have to tell me.
No, it's really, I think it's, I've been to many places with top clubs and everything, but I think those clubs is more about how do we say, performance environment, where here is development environment. So, and of course we deal with a very young athletes. We have to, develop their football, but also, teach them how to be a man. Have to be a good man and stuff like that. And so you can see it's one of the clubs that produce a lot of young players in Europe and play with a lot of young players as well. You look at the squad; they're all young. So and the organization is is one of the best. I've played in many places, but this organization is second to none. And I saw one of the best.
and I got introduced to the girls project as well. That really excited me a lot because I don't even think a lot of clubs have such a great girls football academy. And I was making a joke that we're right to dream starting with the women now. In about 8 years we'll win Olympic Games. We wouldn't develop our own way for right to dream.
Possibly. I mean, and you know, Right to Dream it was one of the I think the first academy in Africa to develop girls talent or girls residency.
Yeah.
But you know, so slowly girls football is growing up, and also you look at their women's heroes and stuff like that. It's growing, so we all here to to support.
Yep.
At some point I was one of the ambassadors for the Women's World Cup in Paris, where we met and promote the women's game. So yeah, it's amazing. It's an amazing thing they're doing, and here is something special. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to take you off FCN a little bit and just ask you to do a few things for me, which should be fun, I hope.
No tricky questions.
Yeah, just like do some blind ranking of players for me, that sort of thing. You wouldn't know who is where, so you just put them in different numbers for me.
Oosh.
They're midfielders, so including yourself. So I've got like 7 players.
7.
I'm just 7. Just rank them for me, Mike.
And I have to place them.
Yeah, you have to place them in each number.
From 1 to 7.
Yeah. So when I mention the name, you decide where they rank without knowing whose name I'm mentioning next. That's the beauty of the blind rank, right? You don't know who I'm mentioning next, but you just have to put them somewhere. And at the end of it, I will read your rankings to you and see whether it makes sense.
Okay.
So rank these 7 midfielders for me. Where would you put Anthony Annan? So they're mostly DMs, so to be fair. Out of 7, you don't know who I'm going to mention next, so
I think I'll put Anthony 7.
Anthony 7. Okay. Where would you put Essien?
I don't know who is coming next, but I hate talking about myself.
That's the beauty of it.
I'll put myself in between somewhere 3.
Okay, so I'll just say Michael Smith.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Kante. Okay, you know what? I'll be fair to you. I'll remove your name.
Yeah, remove. Thank you.
I'll be fair to you.
Thank
Remove your name.
Okay.
So take off Michael.
Okay.
3 is free. So now Kante. So you have 6 now. Just rank 6.
So I'm not involved.
You're not involved.
Okay.
So I'll remove so that is fair to you.
So is Annan 6?
Annan 6, yes.
I'll put Kante 3 then.
Kante 3. Okay. Where would you put Mikel?
I'll put Mikel 4.
Mikel 4. Okay. It's just under Kante. Where would you put Matic?
Matic. I'll put Matic 5.
Matic 5. So we have 3. Kante, Mikel 4.
Matic 6.
Anthony Annan 6. Matic 5.
Yeah.
Okay. So
last one.
Okay, fair enough. Where would you put Montari?
There's only one spot for him. Okay, I'll put Montari 2.
There's 2 spots.
I'll put Montari 2.
Montari 2. Oh, Michael, this is good. And where would you put Makalele?
First.
How did you end up doing this so well? Because now you have number 1 Makalele, number 2 Montari, number 3 Mikel.
No, number 3 is N'Golo.
Oh, number 3 N'Golo Kante, number 4 Mikel, number 5 Matic, number 6 Anthony Annan.
So
that's actually pretty brilliant. That's actually well done.
Thank you.
Well done. Because usually I see this ranking thing and people end up with like the best one in number 5 because they don't know which name is coming.
It's coming.
That's good.
It's tricky.
Okay, let's do this one as well. What is your favorite Chelsea goal? And I will pick my own favorite 2 between the Barcelona goal, the Arsenal goal. But I don't know. I also like the Valencia goal. God, The time of the goal, everything, it was so special, you know. And it looked like we were going out. I mean, we.
Yeah. I only score when the team needs it. If they don't need it,
you don't score, right? That's why and Chelsea didn't need a lot of goals during your time, right? They were always winning.
I only score if they need it.
Okay.
I score the important ones. The rest,
yeah,
if they don't need it, it's fine.
Not that.
I leave it to Drogba.
Okay, what's your favorite one of all those important goals? Favorite one, not the most important, just the favorite.
No, the favorite, of course, it has to be the Arsenal one. Because,
why though?
why? Because first we were playing against one of our biggest rivals.
Yes.
Second, we're playing at home. We have to keep up with our winning home record.
Yes.
And
you were behind for a long time.
And thirdly, yeah, we were losing. So to come up with a goal like that, of course, it's got to be my favorite goal. Yeah.
Did you know it was going in the moment you hit it? I'm sure you've watched it. I mean, a few days ago you posted it, because it wasn't going in. It was like it was going out, and then it found its way back in, and I think it just caressed the post, right?
I think so.
It just came off the post. Did you know the moment you let? Because
I mean, footballers, when you hit a good one, you can feel it. That is a good one. And also, of course, when I saw the ball coming, it's this only one thing that was. So it was an instant reaction, and then I just hit it, and of course it felt good when I hit it. So then. I saw it going, and
wow. I mean, that is some goal. I think what made it even better is, I'm sure you've seen it many times, Jose's celebration right after that. The Barcelona goal, though, on your weaker foot, my word, that is, I mean, the circumstances of the game maybe have taken something away from the goal, but that was, for me, like an unbelievable goal, because it's not just like the fact that you scored with Javico, it's even how you met the ball. It didn't look like it would even go in, because I think maybe 9 out of 10 times that goes over the bar.
Yeah, that's true, actually. I mean, if you ask me to do it now, I don't think I will. I can have 100 shots and it will never happen. But that's what I'm saying. It's an instant thing, you know. I saw the ball dropping, and I saw the midfielders ready to jump. So then I just decided to have a go, and then I took a clean one, and it was in. And I ran to Mikel because
yes, that celebration.
When we're having our pre-match meal, our lunch, because we always sit next together, or sitting there, facing each other, and he said, I have a feeling that you're going to score today.
Mikel said that to you?
And I said, okay, then if I score, I'm coming straight to you. And then it happened. But then the end of the game wasn't the best, but I mean, Iniesta came out with another crazy goal. So both goals were good, but then the circumstances around the game was not the best. But it's one of those things.
I mean, and also in your Chelsea career, you played a lot of big games. Like you rightly said it. You said that you only come out with a goal when a team needs you. But is there like a game where, when you look back, you say, this was my favorite game for one reason or the other? Do you have like a favorite game? You play so many matches, so I know it's hard to remember. But if you had to pinpoint one game that stood out for you.
I mean, it's hard to choose, but I think I'll probably would choose the one against United when my first year, when we have to, if we beat them, we will retain the title again, and then we managed to beat them 3-0. So I think that would be my favorite game. You know, so
it was very early on.
It's early on, coming to a new environment with a price tag on your head, and everybody was talking. Does he really?
Was an expensive player.
Does he really deserve it? You know, is he worth it? Blah blah blah. But I mean, at the end, it's up to you to show what you can do. And I've always been I've always been a team player. I'll put the team and my teammates always ahead of me because I need them and they will need me. So I play for them, and then I did well in my first year, and we managed to retain the title. So I was happy.
The following year, I think you were voted Chelsea Player of the Season. That's 2006-2007 season. You were a monster. Like, I don't know where you got the energy from. You were everywhere, my friend.
The energy is still there. But not anymore now. But yeah.
But 2006-2007 season, I mean, we lost the league. Chelsea lost the league title, but I think in the end, I mean, it probably was, would you say, was your best season ever in club football? Or maybe it goes back to some season.
I mean, it will be one of them. But of course, I would take it as my favorite because the whole transfer saga behind my move from Lyon to Chelsea, and of course, the prize money was big for the club at the time, and all this noise coming out. So, and I have to stay focused. I mean, I did a few tackles and it went. So there's a lot of noise going around, and then I mean Jose spoke to me and said, "My friend, you have my full support, so just go out and enjoy your football." So yeah.
When you mentioned a lot of tackles, I think your mind went to the Dietmar Hamann tackle, no?
Yeah, it was. It was one of them, but the whole thing. Then I have to miss 2 Champions League games, and we got kicked out, and so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and you have suffered some tackles yourself as well. You were very unlucky with injury. Every time I've seen a lot of conversation around, for example, if it wasn't for your injuries, you could have had a much bigger impact at Chelsea. And that's not to say that you didn't have a big impact. You had a huge impact, but it's always a case of what could have been if you didn't get injured. Not just the fact that you got injured, but the number of times you got injured with those long injury layoffs. When you look back at your career and you look at those injuries, is there any form of, sometimes like any form of regret a little bit about like how it happened and maybe what you could have done if you didn't get injured, maybe?
I mean, I always say there's nothing you can do. I mean, injuries are all part of the game, and of course, not saying this, but my first injury was playing for the Black Stars.
The Libya game.
Yeah, when I damaged my knee badly, but I mean, it happens. I mean, that's why we play football. Yeah, I mean, if there's no injuries, then the others will not, have the opportunity to also. It's part of it. It happens. So, and of course, I had most of my bad injuries happened when I was playing for the Black Stars. But who cares? It happened. I don't hold any. I don't any grudges or any. It was just unlucky. Just unlucky, and injuries are part of the game. So we just have to deal with it, and I have no regret. I think I had quite a decent career. Yeah. So I always look into the positive side of every situation. So yeah, I'm happy. I'm still alive. I mean, what else do I need?
That's it, and healthy.
Yeah.
I mean, I love that attitude. Always being grateful, no matter the circumstances, because some people have it worse off. It's like so. It's a. You make a very good point. Always being grateful, and you mentioned the fact that you had a decent career. I think you had more than a decent career, because 3 years in a row you were top 3 African Footballer of the Year. You were in the Ballon d'Or, FIFA World Best, BBC African Footballer of the Year 2006. I probably think in that 06-07 season, if you didn't, I don't know, but I probably thought maybe I personally thought that you deserved to have been voted African Footballer of the Year. But you finished second behind Kante, who won Kanute, who won the UEFA Cup, I believe that year with Sevilla. But when you look at that period, I mean, 2006 it was Drogba, 2007 Drogba, 2005 Drogba, 2006 Drogba, and then 2007 Kanute, and you were just there every single year. Is there a point where you thought, Okay, maybe this year, maybe I thought I should have been African Footballer of the Year.
Honestly, not really. To be honest, I mean, as I said, I was just enjoying my football and doing the work I have to do for Chelsea, for Black Stars, for my teammates. So I was just out there enjoying it. And also, of course, when you're competing with the attackers, the chances you don't have any big chances of winning it. But I didn't care. I was just going with the flow and just enjoying my football, really.
I mean, these days we have a very interesting. We have very interesting teams all around the teams that you played for up until this point. I mean, Chelsea is going through a phase. Do you get to watch a lot of the games these days?
Yeah, I do. I still follow them. And I always watch the game whenever I can. And I think it will take time. It will take time and a lot of patience. But I'm sure they will get there.
Yeah. And I don't know if you saw, Mikel has a podcast now, and he and Nicholas Jackson have been going at it. Did you see what was going on? Did you manage to catch?
Oh, my brother Mikel.
John. It's a very.
I love him as a brother, my young brother.
Yeah.
I mean, we all have our personalities, and like some will just say it, some will just.
Yeah.
For me, I would just ignore it, and but I mean, everyone has they have their own opinion, but it's nothing personal. It's nothing personal, but I mean, sometimes when the criticism is coming from an ex-player, then I think it hurts the players even much more. So then they react, but. I mean, at the end of the day, it's nothing personal. So they just have to take it easy and concentrate on their football and just enjoy the moment, because football goes quick.
It does. It really does.
You just have to enjoy it.
And it really does, because also you can't even predict. You could wake up with a bad injury one day and everything comes to a close. So I totally understand what you're saying. Michael, let's wrap up with a few things. So, we spoke about your favorite game, favorite goal, club football. Do you have any, when it comes to the national team, favorite game, favorite goal? I can help you with a few, because I remember pretty much all of them.
For the Black Stars?
Yeah. I mean, my few favorites: South Africa away, 206.
I told you, I only score when the team needs.
That was special, because I did a documentary on that 2006 World Cup qualifiers. Unfortunately, I didn't get you to speak on it. I wanted to, but the stories that I heard even around that game goes to buttress the point you just made, that the team needed you more than anything else, because even the goalkeeper at the time we had to fly in. So many things, and we were going to South Africa. It's crazy, and there's like people holding hands and singing Jama because everyone was afraid. The environment was. Man, you pop up with that header, it's crazy, man.
I remember we were playing against South Africa. They were the best at the time. And of course, you know how difficult moving around Africa, going to play all these qualified games is. I think is even more harder than the game itself.
Fact.
So there's a lot of things that was going on behind the scenes, and then on the pitch we managed to do it, and it was a big win for us on that day. And then again, when the team needs it, I pop up.
And there was another match, the DR Congo game, when they spoke about the fact that when you were going onto the pitch there were guns and stuff like that. Like, was that really true? Like
yes, it was. Of course, they have to carry guns because for our security. So it's not against us. It's not the fans. It's the soldiers and the security guys for the safety of the game. But I mean, it's tough when you're playing away. It's not. I remember we have to go to Mali.
Yes,
Mali.
World Cup qualifier.
Steven was not there. I don't think Sule was not there. Who else? We're missing a lot of
Key players.
so it was only
John
me.
wasn't there too, I think.
Yeah, it was only me and Kojo Asamoah who was coming,
and Matthew.
Matthew Wambo, and we went there and they had the caterers and they have and then we managed to come home with a win. But I think my favorite one would be the AFCON 2008 against Nigeria.
I agree, 100%. 100%.
Against Nigeria.
100%.
And I never lost against Nigeria when I'm on the pitch.
Wait, how many times have you played against? Wait, okay, you were not on the pitch in 02.
No, I was.
Yes,
I
you
was,
were not.
I was not. I was injured. And then when
The friendly?
the friendly in London I played,
Yes, and we beat them.
We beat them.
4-1.
the AFCON
08.
2006 in Egypt. I was injured. I
You were
didn't
not
go.
there, true.
And then 08 Ghana.
Wow.
So against Nigeria,
then-
if I'm on the pitch, we don't lose.
Yes.
And then we were losing. Then
they popped out with that header, another header. I mean, that's crazy because, Michael, you're not the tallest, but you have a lot of headed goals. You have a big leap.
so the power and the timing. Is the power coming from here and the timing?
Yeah,
And the
that
timing,
game
yeah.
was, yeah, it was, I actually personally think it probably was one of your best times in the national team jersey, that AFCON, like every single game in that AFCON. I remember the Morocco free kick, you and Montari. Was that like practiced or?
No, we didn't practice at all. It was just an instant thing. I just gave him the eye, and he knew where to put the ball, and I just ran towards it.
And then there was.
So I
yes,
remember
right?
when he was standing in front of the ball. I told him, I just did. And
Get
then
on
he
behind.
put it there, and that's the connection you have. When you play with someone for a long time. Sule is like my brother. So and we share rooms every time we're in the national team, and we always talk and we're always together. So we have that connection now.
And it was like, what do you call it? And there was a reverse one. It wasn't just one. There was a reverse one you almost scored. I think this time around it was.
It was Steven.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I missed that one.
Yes,
I
exactly.
missed that
I
one.
remember that. I mean, that's crazy because I mean you've come a very long way. You've served the national team to the best of your abilities. That 2008 AFCON. Like I was saying, we had a lot of issues, injuries here and there. Even that game against Nigeria, we got a red card. John Mercer got red carded, took off the captain's armband, and it was ridiculous. But I have to say though that I think that from everything you've done for this national team, but everything that you've done for Ghanaian football, everybody's very grateful. We're very thankful for your service.
I hope they are.
Well, I
I hope
am.
they are because I think I'm one of the few players that have gone through every category, age group for the national team. So I hope they appreciate the service.
I think they do. I think they do.
I hope so.
It would be unfortunate if anybody doesn't appreciate what you did for the national team, and not just even for the playing, just being an ambassador for Ghana for as long as you were. We're very grateful, and I'm very grateful for your time, Michael. As much as I would like to keep this chat going on, I know you are a very busy man, and for even agreeing to do this for me in the first place, I'm so super grateful. So thank you so much. I'm going to hold on to this memory forever. Certainly, I'll be very grateful, Michael. Thank you so much for talking to us.
Thank you.
Any
Thank
last
you for your
words?
time. For
For anyone, for Ghanaians, for any advice for young players, anything.
I mean, my advice is always, nice and simple. Be humble, be respectful, and hard work
Fantastic.
for every young ones. And you, Baba. I know you are listening. So, and also, I mean, again, it's an amazing stuff that Right to Dream is doing for the boys and the girls, and giving them all these opportunities so they can take their education further, take their football further. So they have to be grateful and then, put in the hard work, because when they're on the pitch, it's not about themselves. They are playing, representing their nation, representing the whole of Right to Dream students. So So yeah, they should work hard, and when they are playing trust me, when they are playing the boys at the academy, they are glue onto the TV, supporting them. So I hope they appreciate that, and I hope they keep on doing their best.
Thank you very much, Michael.
All the best.
Absolute pleasure talking to you. Amazing. Yes. The great Michael Essien. Obviously, I'm sure you're grateful as much as I am for his time, but more importantly for his service for the country, because he has, as he indicated, has done it all from the youth level all the way to the very top. And today he's giving back to the next generation of football talent. And for that, we're grateful as well. Thank you so much for your time. This has been another Joy Sports special. My name is Fentu, Tahir Fentu. Until next time, cheers.
Bringing us their perspective on some of the key issues, some of the key things that have happened here in Ghana over the past month, some of the key topical issues. I've got this message from Dixon. It says, great interview. Wonderful to hear from Michael Essien after all these years. And we're glad that he's pursuing, coaching. Well, we just hope that he eventually comes to coach the Black Stars. Okay. And this one from Johan says, amazing stuff that Michael Essien is doing right there. I'm just hoping that he gets the highest of coaching badges and finds himself coaching one of the big clubs in Europe. All right, so let's now go over to, bounce between Europe and America, and we'll speak to three journalists, three of them. Now, let's begin the introductions. Now, one of them was previously in the multimedia stables. Davis Odinohuapia, one time an Adum Sports editor, and covered loads and loads of big competitions around the world, and now finds himself pursuing healthcare entrepreneurship in the United States of America, specifically in Columbus, Ohio, joining us for this conversation about where they stand and how they see some of the key issues that have popped up in the past month. Also joining us from Ohio is an entrepreneur and journalist who previously worked with Happy FM. Felix Adai also finds himself there in the United States of America, also has massive thoughts on some of these issues as well. And then would go to North Carolina. Now, North Carolina, specifically in Fayetteville, and over there, I would be speaking to Listowel Yesu Bukasin. You do remember Listowel from the days of his work as spokesperson of Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Well, Listowel is a lawyer and has his own firm, running his own firm there in Fayetteville in North Carolina. Gentlemen, it's great to touch base with all of you after such a long, long time. Good to hear from you, gentlemen.
Good Felix, to hear from you, Nat.
Yeah. Felix is actually in Barcelona as we speak, right?
Yes, I actually took a little time off, and I came to see family here in London. In London.
Okay.
And then last night, my friend said, "Oh, let's just take a trip to Barcelona and see how the place is like."
Wow, interesting stuff there.
Yeah.
Council, good afternoon to you. Listowel, good to see you. It's been it's been ages. And every time when I drop by the US, you are the one I never get to see. Please unmute. Kindly unmute for me.
FM.
Okay, Listowel, kindly unmute for me. Yeah. Okay, I see you're talking, but it's not audible. Let's try to see if we can get Listowel talking now. Okay, so we'll come back to Listowel, but also joining us is an alumnus of of the multimedia stables, Davis Odinohuapia. Davis, good to see you.
Good to see you, my brother. How you doing?
Hey, great stuff there, great stuff there. Well,
Great, great.
Davis, myself, and Felix caught up the last time when Isaac Dugbe was fighting for his last world title in Oklahoma. Good to hear from you guys. So let's quickly touch base with Listowel, and then we can begin our conversation here on the Joy Sports Link. Listowel, I guess that way we are now good to go. Listowel, good to hear from you.
Hey, Nat, can you hear me now?
Great. I can hear you.
Well, I was just saying that question of whether or not you get to see me, I don't know if it's by choice because I have almost always been available to as many people as possible who want to see me. So anytime you come, you're always welcome.
Okay.
Yeah, it's home.
Okay, great stuff. So, Listowel, lunch, drinks, everything the next time we meet up in the US, okay?
You don't have a problem.
Don't worry, I give it to make you to Ozafi. Ozafi in North Carolina.
Great. Well, gentlemen, you've had to observe what's been going on here in Ghana. And especially as we gear towards a major election, presidential and parliamentary, there are loads of promises flying around, loads of projections and loads of policy documents flying around. Let's begin with you, Listowel. You've been here in the center. You've done a lot of club football. You've been doing a lot of communication. Before going to pursue law and practicing in the United States. Tell me what key things caught your attention over the past month here in Ghana and where you stand on them.
Well, Nat, it's been galore. You are not sure where to pick it from where we are, and to be able to tell where we are going as a nation. A lot of the happenings back home in Ghana are disgusting. They are so sad to comprehend and to appreciate by way of sports and how far things have come. The last time I got shattered was when same Felix was telling me about how Ghana hosted the All African Games and the fallouts, the budget that was thrown at us, and the breakdown, the nitty-gritties of what it is that went into the budget. And you want to juxtapose that against the results on the ground. You want to look at how much was paid for what, and you are asking the questions of where are we as a nation and where are we headed as a nation. And you want to be you are lost on how far we have come as a football nation. And I want to also commend your production team, because all of us here on the platform are people who have lived our lives on the backs of football or sports in Ghana till we are here today. So we kind of appreciate the things that have gone on in Ghana. And I'm like, from national teams, right from the under 17, I remember the very first time Ghana attempted to go to the World Cup and make an impact was Scotland in '89, if you remember, where we could not make it. From Scotland, we came to Italy 91, 95, 97, and we have progressed even up until Barcelona. And you are looking at this great nation of ours when you talk sports and our trajectory and where we are today. And you look back and you are asking, is this the country that we touted ourselves so much about in terms of sports, that as we speak today, we cannot host a category B or C or whatever game in Ghana, to the extent that Ghana is gone searching for a venue to host a Black Stars game, and you are lost on everything. I said I'm lost because I cannot pinpoint where our problems have been and how galore our problems have been. And I ask another question of, have we in this journey had square pegs in round holes, to the extent that we put the wrong people in the right places or the right persons in the wrong places? And then you are asking again, who is there to check who, to ensure that we get value for money in terms of who we put where? I listened to excerpts of Stephen Appiah's appearance in Parliament when he spoke to the Parliamentary Select Committee. And I'm like, you have people like this man who have been able to voice out what it is they are voicing out. I've also heard Derek Boateng speak. I've heard Ajiman Bedu speak. I have heard a number of these stars speak to our football and where we are. And I have always told people that our problems today in sports in general is not the people you put there, it's the people who they put where they put them. That for me has been my problem, because then it's become a question of leadership crisis. Because if I put Nat right there on that seat to host this program for Joy FM to get the mileage and make money and make returns, and Nat is not giving me the results, he's not maximizing the platform, and Joy Sports is going down, the content is bad, everything is wrong with the sports program, I will not hold Nat responsible, because Nat did not put himself where he is. So somebody who put Nat there must appreciate that Nat is not maximizing the program and not giving me the response and the feedback that I require. And I'm not getting the numbers, I'm not getting the sponsorship, I'm not getting the mileage. And so it is the person who put Nat there to say, look, Nat, you don't deserve to be here. Let somebody who can give me, say, put Davis here or put Felix here, because Davis can do a better job. But if Nat continues to sit there and the program continues to go down, then why do you blame Nat? Because Nat wants to also be there. So the problem we have in this country, for me, is not about who is where at what point, regardless of whether or not they are square pegs in round holes, but it's about the people who put them there. And that's the political will. That is lack of leadership. It's either people are naive in terms of leadership, people don't appreciate what is going on, they don't understand. People are just politicizing the positions in terms of putting friends and family and all of those people there to be continue to mismanage and to stress our football. That has been my problem, because I would not understand why that budget that came from the the tournament and the figures that are being bandied around. You know, I'm being careful because I have not perused the documents.
Very well.
I have not scrutinized the budget. I've not looked at the figures and juxtapose the figures to or with those kinds of things they claim they have used the money for. And so I'm being very careful how I'm going on that. But collectively, to the extent that you and I appreciate that our stadia or our stadiums across the country are not good enough for good football, that in itself is enough evidence for me to say I can substantiate my suspicion that there's everything wrong with our football. There's everything wrong with our sports in Ghana.
Very well.
And that for me is baffling.
Very well. Listuo Yesu Bukasin is a lawyer and also a journalist. He is now based in the United States of America, specifically, and in North Carolina, bringing his perspective to the conversation. We'll come back to him for a few other points or a few other things that he's noticed. Now I'll take a few more, I'll take some opening submissions from around the table. Let's begin with you, Davis. Davis, I mean, you have been here at the Multimedia Group. You've been on this tangent for so many years, producing so much content, trying to, speak truth to authority and try to, bring out some of the ills so that these problems can be solved. What are the key things for you as well? What did you also notice? What also caught your attention over the past month?
Thank you, Nat, and thank you so much. And I also welcome my brothers to the show, though I'm not the host, but I welcome Listo and then Felix to the show. And thank you for the opportunity this morning. I mean, you wake us up from our bed.
I know, eh?
We got to get ready for you, yeah. What I would say is that, like my brother said, and a senior colleague, he has said it all. In fact, we've been saddened about the happenings in Ghana. We heard about what's going on and we realized that, is this the Ghana we left or is this the Ghana we used to work with in terms of the sports fraternity? Looking at the situation in Ghana now, I think it's so bad. People that knew what was going on in Ghana, when you talk about sports, and now when we talk about sports, the difference is, I mean, it's so bad. Listo was talking about those that they put them in positions. For me, I'll go into the political influence in our sports and then the money influence in our sports. The political influence is where my brother was touching base with, because the people that we put them there are square pegs in a round hole. People are not ready to change or help the situation. However, they come in there as if they will be able to do what they're supposed to do. In the previous where we were in a country working, you remember there were people who were competent, not politically influenced, but competent people who were in the position in running our sports. How could Ghana got to this point? Because people are being put in a places by political parties, and so they are not competent to run our sports. When you look at what is happening, like Listowo said, in terms of the budgetary, in terms of everything, those who goes there are there. They are just going there to see that whatever they are going to get is what they are going for. That's their interest. And so things that is happening in Ghana now, I'll tell you that it's not something that we have to joke with. It's not something that we have to be happy about. It's so bad. I've also read comments, or I've also read statements from former players concerning their sentiments and how they feel about it. I think it's about time they also come on board. I think it's about time they also have to be ready to take the mental up. But what I would say is that at this time around, we all have to come together and find a solution and tell those at the authorities and say, hey, this is what we, the people, or those that we've been into this business before, we can take over and run our sports. But not, I would say that what is going on now, I don't think it's something that we all waiting or we all yearning for. It's really, really bad.
Great stuff. Davis Odinohuapia, formerly of Adum FM there. Let's now go to you, Felix. Felix previously worked with Happy FM. He also has been following the show, following the discourse as well, and has thoughts. Felix.
I not.
Now, there's been mention, of this issue of the inability to host games by Listowel. Davis is also talking about political influence, that politics is eating too much into sports administration and running our sport, where maybe political parties in power want to ensure that at all costs persons from within their fray find themselves in key positions, and not necessarily people who, that's how he sees it. What are your issues?
Well, Nat, my issues are not so different from what my senior colleagues just touched on. But what I will sum it all into into one point. I think currently the main problem Ghana is facing is selfishness. Nobody has the nation at heart. Nobody wants to do something without benefiting so much from whatever they did. And that is one major thing affecting Ghana right now. You can look at it from all spheres of, or all sectors of the economy, be it sports, be it economy, or wherever everybody find themselves. They want to reap and reap and reap. And that is the problem Ghana is facing right now. Let's focus on the sports section or the sports sector. How did we get to the point where we cannot even get one FIFA standard pitch or one stadium that is quality enough to host FIFA matches? How did we get there? In the past, we've had two good stadiums, Kumasi and Accra, and then President Kufuor renovated it and even built two new ones in addition. Under President Mills, we got Cape Coast. So we have five very good ones. But how did we get here? It is all because those who were put in the helms of affairs rather thought about themselves than thinking about the general population. And so monies they made, or monies that came in, this is a situation whereby if we allot a sum of money to renovate the stadium or to keep the stadium in shape, a chunk of that money find itself in individuals' pockets. And that is the problem. You see, in the morning when I spoke to you, or when you called me, we were talking about the fact that when we meet people, what do they discuss? Look, right now I'm telling you, a lot of people have started giving up on Ghana. When we go out, because we are journalists, When we go out, we listen to people's views, we talk and listen to what people are saying. And a lot of people are beginning to give up on Ghana because the people are not interested in the welfare of Ghana. People are rather interested in what they will make, their money that they will save for themselves and their children. This gentleman who was fired recently from the National Sports Authority, I just said this morning that he used to be living in UK. He used to be living in London. He's a friend to my friend I am sitting here with. So if he's been living in London, it means he has seen how stuff are done in London. How come we put him in this high position and at the end of the day he couldn't work and he's been fired? You understand? Few days ago, about last week, I went to Coventry. We went to play Leicester. I was in Leicester. Leicester, the Ghanaian boys in Leicester went to play a friendly match with the Ghanaian guys in Coventry. And the pitch that we played on, or the area that we played, had about 8 different pitches. 8 standard pitches, not small pitches. They were standard pitches with goalposts and so on. And we were playing on one. Then I asked myself, can't we do this in Ghana? Can't we get a space that will develop these kind of pitches, whereby one area you have about 8 pitches for kids to just go and play? No. Rather, people will sell these pitches and construct stores, construct residential. But life is not all about residential. Life is not all about constructing markets and those stuff. So, like I began saying, everything is now selfishness in Ghana. I don't want to dwell so much on the political scene or the economic scene, whatever they are doing there. But sometimes when we are living here in abroad and we hear the sums of money that goes into projects, so-called projects, then you ask yourself, are they going to use all these money to do those projects that they did? Is it not so funny enough for you to tell me that accreditation costs $4.5 million? Accreditation. And at the end of the day, people will come and justify reasons why this accreditation costs $4.5 million. People will come and justify or defend the reason why food costs $15 million. Now, the devil in this issue is the individual entries or the individual items that make up this budget, which I know they will not come and tell us, because if they come and tell you that they bought a crate of egg for let's say 10,000 cedis, you will be amazed that why should a crate of egg cost 10,000 cedis? But at the end of the day, if they should bring the budget to us and break it down for us to know how much they bought individual items, not I know the whole country will open their mouths. So, you see, the issue is now about selfishness. How do we tackle this? Look at the GFA. Look at all the other sectors of sports. You look. You see, like I told you, people have started giving up in Ghana, giving up on Ghana. And if you sit down and you hear some of these things, it breaks you. We were fortunate enough to see the time of Mr. E.T. Mensah. We were fortunate enough to see the time of Honorable Kojo Baredi. We were fortunate enough to see how do you call him, Papa Nkrumah, and all those people who became sports ministers. And today, we are also seeing the current sports minister that we have. What has been the role of the current sports minister in all this brouhaha? What has been his role? It looks like he is always a part of the problem that is going on. Be it GFA, be it the other sporting aspects. He is always a part of whatever goes on, especially the GFA, because we feel that he, being the sports minister, should be able to put his leg down. You remember when Honorable Nilante van der Poel, when he came, and on one occasion, Ghana had already qualified for a tournament, and he insisted that the last qualifying match, we should allow local players to play. At least, if they are able to win, the winning bonus will be given to them, and that money will remain in that country. Or Ghana is not going to spend on flights, paying for tickets for players to come and so on. What happened? People rose against him. People told him that he should leave the GFA. take his hands off the GFA. And so it looks like when you are a minister and you come and you don't go in bed with the GFA, some people find their way to take you off. And because of that, every minister that will come after Papa Usokuma and those hard guys, every minister that will come rather wants to be in bed with the GFA. And they together connive and milk the nation. Monies that are supposed to go into other aspects of football are rather going into individuals' pockets. Tell me, when the minister went to Qatar, how much money did he get from the appearance fee or whatever? According to sources, he also made some money. And so sometimes you just look at it and you are like, those who are rather on top, who are supposed to make sure that the national purse is safeguarded, the national purse is protected, they are the ones who are rather milking the economy, milking the country. Now, it's sad when we sit here and we hear some of these things. And they will say that we are just speculating. But let me tell you, we believe in our colleagues. We believe in the things that we hear from our colleagues. Look at what they did to Muftar recently. When Muftar came to put it out, that FIFA says they gave $200 and something thousand to develop pitches in Ghana. People came attacking Muftar. But ask yourself, is he right or he's not right? Did he just put it out there without getting enough information? It's sad, Nat. It's sad.
Yeah. All right. Let me pick the thoughts of Listowell because of his background as a lawyer on this matter of the structure, of the administrative structure, where the Ghana FA will deal directly with the Ministry of Youth and Sports, as against coming under the umbrella of the National Sports Authority. I'm also asking this because obviously you followed some excerpts of the meetings that the Parliamentary Select Committee on Sports has held over the past week with industry stakeholders about, the Sports Authority having that oversight responsibility over all other sporting associations, as has been prescribed by the National Sports Authority Act, which is the main document of law which runs all of these associations.
Nat, this is the bigger picture of a question that you have asked, and you've asked that question so simply. This comes to the core of the tenets of our constitution, because you see, if you have a country like Ghana, where the president has a constitutional mandate as executive head to appoint over 6,000 people, including looking and making appointment from the other arms of government, which ultimately defeats the question of the separation of powers and its checks and balances. That is what trickles down to where we are, to even our sports. Because the president has the constitutional power. He sits down in the comfort of his office and he says, Nat, you are the next sports minister. Felix, you are this. Davis, you are that. Muftar and Nabila, you are this. And that is the constitution, the supreme law of the land that has mandated the president to do that. Now, you ask the question of the relationship between the sports ministry and all of the other institutions beneath the sports institution. How many disciplines do we have, even before I do that analysis, under the National Sports Authority? I remember, if I'm right, it's over 30 disciplines.
Yes.
All of these disciplines are under the National Sports Authority. The National Sports Authority is also under the Ministry of Youth and Sports. Now, if there are issues, which issues have almost always come up, it all comes back to the sports minister. This sports minister, who, if I'm right again, is a member of parliament, which is the legislative arm of government, and the constitution mandates in Ghana that over 50% of our appointees must come from parliament. So it's not that simple a question that you asked. We have been bewitched by the 1992 constitution put together by a constituent assembly to draw our lives for us on the backs of our constitution. So it's a bigger picture. It's a very big picture. Dealing with this subject matter. Go ahead, Nat.
Yeah. So under this current structure where the Ghana FA has direct administrative access to the bigger authority, which is the sports ministry, would you, I mean, going forward, looking at the way things are done, because, you know, when you go down to the sporting associations, they sometimes complain about how quickly, for instance, some administrative procedures are made, like issues of finance, issues of authorization, issues of of approvals and all of that. So, question is, do we leave it the way it is so that the sports, the Ghana FA has that semi-autonomous walk within the whole administrative structure, or the sports authority assumes the role it is supposed to assume, where they oversee the work of the Ghana FA, and the Ghana FA reports to them, they in turn reports to the ministry?
Now, you and I, and almost all of us on this platform, have come to this discussion before many, many times. It's a yes and no. No, because of the tendency of unhealthy, this devil called bureaucracy. We have a system where bureaucracy has bedeviled us over the years. If it was the case that the ministry was responsible for everything sports, then you are looking at how bureaucratic the process is going to be able to facilitate and to run football and sports across the country when there's time and pressure on us as a nation. Because as a nation, we are not even disciplined in our decisions. Now, if you're also saying that the other disciplines should be independent, or the other entities should be independent of the ministry, then there's the question of abuse, because who is going to have to check who? Especially so when we have had instances where our football authorities have said, look, this is the FA. The FA is independent of government, and therefore they burden us with the question of whether influence or interference. And then we are asking where government will interfere or whether government will influence. And they will say FIFA. And all of these arguments we have come across many, many times. But I think that it comes back to us as a people and how disciplined we are and how we love to want to progress our nation on the backs of sports. Look, Nat, in 2010, I did a project in sports management in Frankfurt. And if you go and read those documents, I didn't want us to go abroad because it would be like we are not comparing the two, we are not comparing the right countries. But sports is very huge, and and we know that if you take good care of sports, you have a tendency of maximizing the potential in this country. And it's been the case around the world. Look, in 2008, when Ghana was going to host the Nations Cup, President Kufuor, through the late Rashid Bawa, and I think Oduro Mensah, he then was the head of the National Sports Authority. Oduro Mensah and Rashid Bawa got me involved in some of these things that we did for the 2008 Nations Cup. And I actually hosted the launch of these facilities across Ghana, the Kumasi, Accra Sports Stadium renovations, the Sekondi and the Tamale Sports Stadiums that were built from scratch for those for that tournament. And when I first saw the pictures of how dilapidated and how sick and bad the stadia have become over the years, then I'm like, where are we as a nation? So I'm coming back to your question. If the sports authority was that independent to be able to manage our sports stadia, then we will not be where we are, where stadia that we have invested millions of dollars in over the 10 years are that deplorable, so that we have to go look for money to come and re-inject and reinvest. So not it's a bigger question that you are asking, that's supported. But I would say that if I had my own way, these institutions should be independent of each other. Responsibilities, we have expectations and timelines to meet in terms of how to apply their responsibilities, and they are held responsible for what it is they do, right or wrong. And so people are responsible for their actions and inactions. But that's not where we are. Like Felix said, we are running a nation on the backs of sheer greed and gluttony. Everybody in one form or the other, in one way or the other, at one given point or the other, is, if you would, greedy and a thief, if you like. Because then it's not about the collective Ghanaian interest anymore. It's not about the collective Ghanaian interest anymore. I have read stories where people have criticized the FA, they've criticized the sports authority boss, and people have been made scapegoats, especially the sports authority boss when it was announced that we're not going to have the opportunity to host key Black Star games in Ghana. Was the sports was the director who was fired made a scapegoat? Was it a right decision? Did we look at what went into why we came to this point where we cannot host game? And I have seen figures bandied around that look, we have X amount of money that we made from renting out the stadium for A, B, C, D. So we have to have a document that should guide us as to how we manage our football. If you don't have it, we are in trouble. Now, let me wrap up with this on this one. The national sports, the sports policy, and I'll say this for the first time, the sports policy that the late Ben Kofi drafted was given to me, the original one given to me by the late Ban Redu in the presence of the late Afani in Samatex. We went to Samatex to commission a facility for Summer Boy, and that was where, as a team, we went together. And then I looked at what the late Ban Redu put on, the late Ben Kofi put on paper for Ban Redu, and we discussed it together with the late Afani in Summer Boy. The question I'm asking, where is that document? If you don't have a policy, anything goes. So I am saying that I think it's a big question that you have asked. We need a roundtable conference. We need a discussion to go into it. People like you, like Obama, like any other Michael TJ and these guys who have given us cause to believe that they love football, they understand the game, they want to contribute to our cause, should come around the table and have a discussion. And then once we have come to that conclusion of what document we'll have to put together going forward, then we will say, look, we have put together stakeholders, and then they think that if we did A, B, C, D, we're going to go to X, Y, Z. And then we all push that agenda. But we have come to this conclusion where it's about winner takes all. And therefore, if you are not for party A, you're not for party B, you cannot go into positions where your talent and your wisdom and whatever it is that you have by way of contributing to our cause is tapped and maximized as a nation. And that, for me, is why we are where we are today.
Interesting thoughts there. And just like you said, this calls for an even broader conversation. So at the end of the day, we can see solutions. We're in the final leg of the show, so I will just do quick final comments from Davis and then Felix. So let me go to Davis. I realize that you have to hit the road. So Davis, loads and loads of things to talk about, but what would you want to see, regarding, for instance, our Ghana Premier League? I mean, this is one very big product that we keep talking about and we keep working on, so we see improvement. What, for instance, with the Ghana Premier League, which you have spent so many years within your career as a sports journalist to cover and to bring light to, what are the kinds of things you want to see happen in terms of change in the Ghana Premier League over the next 1 minute?
Right, thank you. Nat, sorry, my line dropped off. I had to attend to something else. And talking about the Ghana Premier League, before I said something about that, let me quickly say the national issue concerning the GFA and the National Sports Authority when my brother Listo was talking about. I think the institutions, things have to change. And we also have to make sure we bring the the GFA under the umbrella of National Sports Authority. It has been a problem very, very long time. And just like Listo said, they don't want to come under the National Sports Authority. But I think going forward, if you want things to be done properly, we need to find a way, or we need to let it work if you want our sports development change in a way whereby we will be able to benefit from it. That's what I would say. Going forward on our Premier League, I think the Premier League, we always say that the standard is low. Yes. Looking at the times that we were doing sports in Ghana, you could see that the standard was going higher and higher week after week. But this time around, what do we see? We've been seeing players, when they get to their peak, they are being shipped out from the country. Recently, I read from Ghana that there are a lot of players even going to Tanzania. And I asked myself, what's going on there? Tanzania? And comparing Ghana Premier League to Tanzanian League, I think our standard was even way better than them. But now, what are we seeing? The people in the administration of our Premier League are not serious at all because they are not helping the development of the league. In a sense that when people need to put money into the administration of the league or into the preparation of the league, they don't do that. You could remember in the likes of Herbert Mensah, Harry Zakor, Frank Nelson, and so forth, and even Mr. Sickens, when they were doing Okoro United, Hearts of Oak, you could see how they were investing in the league. And so this is where we got the quality. But at this time, the league is on a low standard because they are not investing in it. And I can tell you, whoever gets up every day, whoever gets up any day thinks that he can run a football in the country. There is no measures. There is no measures for people to set up clubs. When you want to set up a club, I think we need to have a measures whereby if you've been able to come up with certain certain support or budgets. I should put it that way.
Yeah, so basically, people who want to come into football, especially club administration, should have minimum budgets that or certain financial muscle
that they can run off. Yes. Yeah. And so whoever gets up and says that yes, I have a football club, that is one of the things that is affected.
Very well. And
so one of the things I've also realized about the low standard of our league is that the traditional clubs are not there. They are not in our league anymore. You could see as compared to the ones that we've been watching, the English Premier League, you could see clubs are the traditional or from the communities. We used to have Okoro United. When you go to Nkoko, the people in the community will come to the stadium and watch. We used to have Kwaidi Brim. When you go there, how see you?
Very true.
Turn over for BA United.
Very true, Davis. Very true.
These are the traditional teams that brings people to the stadium.
Interesting.
But where are they?
Yeah.
We have kicked them out. And people are thinks that football is business. So Davis will wake up one day and say, I'm forming my whatever United football, whatever FC. And where are you going to get the interest? Where are you going to get the support? Who are those coming to watch you? How much are you input into this? And so I think we should also look at this area whereby we've been administrators or football managers have been able to succeed in kicking out our traditional teams. That is one of the major problems that our league is falling
very well. Thank you so much. So that squeezes Felix because he's going to make the last point, and now time is not our best friend at all. I don't know how you're going to do it, Felix, but maybe
I'll make
1 minute.
I'll make a submission quick.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know whoever is going to be the next president of Ghana. Our problem is selfishness and greed. Anybody you put into any position, in the next few months, the person wants to buy a land, wants to buy a Mercedes-Benz, wants to build at East Legon, wants to build at Airport Hills. I don't know what they are going to do. Whether the person is from university, secondary school, they just started life and they want to live that big lifestyle. I don't know what we are going to do for people to change their mindset. Then, let me also send a quick notice to Ofei, the coach of Under-20. People have started imposing players on him. We are just going to play waffle. We need to play waffle and qualify for Africa before we can qualify for World Cup. People have started. I know. I have guys on the ground, and I have been told that people have started imposing players on Ofei. If he doesn't step up or put his feet down and build his own team, so that he can qualify from the waffle and then qualify for the World Cup, the African Cup and the World Cup. At the end of the day, if things doesn't go well, people will blame him, and he's the one who will be disgraced.
Wow, thank you.
The under-20 is the future of the Black Stars. So if he doesn't build this team well, and he listens to people who are going to impose players on him, that will be the end of Black Stars.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. This calls for a part 2 of this conversation. Very, very grateful for your time this afternoon, gentlemen. Felix Adai, an entrepreneur, sports journalist from here in Ghana, previously with Happy FM. Listu Yesu Bukasin is a lawyer and also previously spokesperson for Kumasi Asante Kotoko. And also Davis Odenuhuapia, previously with Adum FM and now a healthcare entrepreneur in the United States of America, joining me for this conversation with journalists around the diaspora, bringing their perspectives to the issues in Ghana sport. Thank you all so much for listening. Coming up later on this afternoon will be Kwame Dazi and the rest of the team bringing you Showbiz A to Z. We'll be back next weekend with another show. Thanks to the whole production team. And once again, to my daughter, Raina Jane Attoh. Happy birthday to her. I love you to bits. We all love you to bits. Okay, Kwame Dazi is looking real good in his in his white apparel and his white sneakers, his Air Force sneakers. Charlie, quick one before I step out. Charlie, what's up for the weekend? What's up for the weekend?
We're having a conversation on children and the entertainment content they consume.
Wow.
So we're looking at what they consume by way of entertainment,
Amazing.
on social media, on television, on radio, and all that.
And during the week when your team was putting together this topic, it really struck me. And I hope this will not be the last, because this is a challenge for anybody.
This isn't the first.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be the last.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
We'll all be locked on it, and we're looking forward to seeing.
And I have Amrado in the studio as well.
Wow. Amrado the burn. Okay. So every reason to stick and be glued with us here on Joy 99.7 FM. Some music, and then after that, the man Kwame Dazi will take it over and bring you Showbiz A to Z right here on your superstation Joy 99.7 FM. What kind of entertainment content are the little ones consuming? This is a matter for all of us. Well, I'm out. You stay well. My name is Nathaniel Attoh, and I have love for sport.